Hello students, welcome to the answer writing program. Today we will be discussing two questions from GS4 ethics topic, and the topic would be probity in governance, and the one question from current affair. Let's take an overview of all the three questions. The first question is related to the citizen charter and what are the reasons for its failure. And the second question is related to work culture and how healthy work culture leads to greater productivity, creativity and the sense of fulfillment in the employees of that particular organization. These are two questions from GS4 ethics, and the one question, that is the third question, it is current affair and international relations question, and it is related to India and the Maldives relation. So let's start with the first question. The first question is, there is a view that Citizens Charter has failed to achieve their intended objectives. Lack of awareness among the public, outdated information and no legal enforcement are the cited as reasons for the failure of Citizens Charter in India. Discuss. So the question is setting the context that Citizen Charter had failed to achieve some objectives, and what are the reasons? The question itself is mentioning that the first is awareness amongst the public, second is outdated information, and the third is no legal backing. So these are some reasons given in the question for the failure of the Citizen Charter. We need to discuss this question, so we need to elaborate on these points as well as the other points where the Citizen Charter has failed, and then we will give some solutions and the way forward in which we can work upon so as to make a success. So let's start the introduction. In introduction, you can directly write about some definition that what exactly Citizen Charter is, or you can also write about some broader perspective that why Citizen Charter at the first place has come up. So you can write that Citizen Charter is a tool of social accountability that places public servant directly accountable to the people. It has come up in 1997 by Government of India, and the DARPG, Department of Administrative Reform and Public Grievances, was the nodal agency for this enforcement. So this is the broader perspective that it is the tool of social accountability. Now what is Citizen Charter? Citizen Charter is a set of commitments from the public officials towards the citizen, set of commitments. So what are these commitments? Commitments related to the quality of public service, about the expected standards of delivery of public service, about the timeliness of the delivery or the quality of the public service. So this is the definition of the Citizen Charter. Then what is the objective of Citizen Charter? The objective of the Citizen Charter is to improve the quality of public services and to maintain the delivery and timeliness of the public services, and also to increase the transparency, increases the accountability, empowering the citizen and enhancing the citizen's participation in the decision making process. So this is the Citizens Charter objective. But Citizens Charter has not fulfilled or has not achieved its full potential due to some inherent issues. So what are those issues? We will write in the body part. Reasons for the failure. The very first reason is the lack of awareness. So there are hardly number of the people who know about the Citizen Charter. We as the civil servants, we know after coming into the preparation mode, we know about the Citizen Charter, but there are hardly any people, hardly any person who knows about the Citizen Charter, that what are the rights a person can derive from the public agency. Why there is a lack of awareness? Because the government has not invested much in the publicizing or the advertisement of the Citizen Charter, and it is the tool that can have a huge impact on the people empowerment and securing public officials accountable to the people. So when government will publicize or advertise or market about this, that this is the Citizen Charter and it is the right of the citizen to know about this, It empowers the people as well as to secure the accountability of the public officials towards the citizen. Next is outdated information. Whatever the guidelines, the vision, mission, objective, whatever is there written in the citizen charter, they are outdated. Why? These citizen charter are not being reviewed or updated timely. See, citizen charter is not a one-stop exercise. It has to be continuously reviewed and updated by getting the feedback and the suggestions from grievances redressal desk. So it should be continuously reviewed and updated. Then next is the lack of legal enforcement. Citizen charter has only come up with the as a guidelines that there are some rights of the people, there are some visions and the mission of the department, and what the citizen can expect from that particular department or the governmental agency. It does not have any legal backing, means it is not mandated by any law. So due to the non-enforcement or the non-legal enforcement, there are no penal provisions also. If the government servant is not able to fulfill the commitments, whatever there is written in the citizen charter, there are no penal provisions for that. But there are some state governments who have gone ahead from this citizen charter guidelines. They have come up with the time-bound delivery of the services act. They have written some services, and the penal provisions are included or incorporated for that particular services, that if public official is not able to fulfill the commitments, whatever there are the services mentioned over there, then the public official will be penalized like approximately 10 rupees per day, per person, per application, after the time bound manner what has the committed or the prescribed time to deliver that particular service. And also for this thing only, in 2011 citizen charter bill has come up, but due to the dissolution of Lok Sabha in 2014, that bill also got lapsed. Next is, these are the points whatever the question is directly demanding. So you can write, you can elaborate on these points whatever the question is asking you, and you can also write that other factors for the reasons, or the other factors or the reasons for the failure of citizen charter. The very first thing is bureaucratic apathy or the bureaucratic mindset. Now citizens charter is a tool to hold accountable the public servant. When we as a public or the citizen make public officials accountable, it means there is a redistribution of power. What happens right now is there is a power asymmetry. Bureaucracy holds much high power, and we as a citizen, we are not that much empowered, or we do not have much power. But when we'll ask rights from the government in the form of citizens charter, then this power asymmetry will dissolve down. There will be the redistribution of the power from the bureaucracy to the people. People will get empowered. And when these type of reforms happen in the society, bureaucracy will get reserved or restrained from doing these reforms, which erodes the authority of the bureaucracy. So bureaucracy is apathy towards this. And next is, when there are the particular or the specific things written in the citizen charter, the public officials or the government agents, they have to fulfill that particular work in the time bound manner. So this creates friction in the bureaucracy. They do not want to do that. The next thing is inadequate feedback or the consultation mechanism. During the formulation of citizens charter, the different stakeholder like citizen, civic bodies, ground level bureaucrats who actually implement the citizen charter, they are not involved. Just the DARPG issues the circular to the different ministries or the department that on these lines you have to make the citizen charter, and the bureaucrats over there at the secretary level or whatever, they make the citizens charter. And the involvement or the feedback mechanism from the people who actually require their rights and the responsibilities, they are not getting involved in the citizens charter making process. So these are some reasons for the failure. Next is, what are the measures to improve? So whatever the failures are, if we work upon that, that would be the measures. The very first thing is, we need to raise the awareness amongst the people, amongst the citizens, that yes, there exists some citizen charter. This is your right. You have to demand it from the different agencies or the different departments. So for that, government has to spend much more on the publicization or the advertisement of awareness campaigns. Next is regular updates. There should be regular reviews, updations in the citizen charter according to the feedback, suggestions from the grievance redressal desk and from the feedback from the different stakeholders. Next is legal enforceability. So likewise, we have discussed about the Citizens Charter Bill 2011. This was also named as Redressal of Citizens Grievances Bill. So again, we can talk about that this bill should have come up for the legal backing of the Citizen Charter, so as to make the legal provisions for the penalty. Next is feedback, consultation and the grievance redressal system. There should be robust grievance redressal mechanism system should be there, and there should be proper reinforcement or the inculcation of the feedback, suggestions from the different stakeholder in the Citizens Charter implementation process. Finally, its conclusion. Conclusion about, you can write about that how enhancing the Citizen Charter would be more effective for the effective or the efficient public service delivery. We require dedicated bureaucracy who have the willpower to take out the reforms, to lower down their authorities on the if the authorities is getting lowered down, that it's particularly or the specifically fine thing. So we need dedicated bureaucracy to implement the reforms, and the civil servant should have the spirit of the service for the high quality public services. Then this Citizen Charter would be a success. Let's see the model answer. Defining Citizen Charter objective, what are the reasons and what are the different measures, finally concluding the answer. Now moving on to the second question. In a positive work culture, employees are motivated, engaged and feel valued. This creates a sense of ownership, which in turn leads to greater productivity, creativity and the sense of fulfillment. Illustrate by giving suitable examples. So this is the question. So the question is related to work culture, and the question is also saying something about the healthy or the positive work culture. And what are the benefits of this? There would be more productivity, creativity and the sense of fulfillment. We need to elaborate on this particular context what the question is setting, and we need to illustrate this, means we have to give examples for each argument. So let's start with the introduction. Directly by defining what is work culture, you can start your answer. Now what is work culture? But before then, work culture, what is culture? Culture is the total of the values, morals, ethics, traditions, norms, beliefs, attitudes, perception, whatever is there in the society. It is the amalgamation or the collection or the average of that. And what is work culture? Work culture is again the total or the collective of values, ethics, moralities, different attitudes, perceptions, beliefs, traditions, norms, attitudes of the organization. So this is the definition of work culture. You can also write about that work culture plays a very important role in deciding the quality and the level of the interactions happen between the organization and the environment. And also this work culture influence various aspects of the organization, like job satisfaction of the employees, productivity, profitability, etc. of the organization. So in this way you can start your introduction. Next is body. So we need to write down whatever the question is setting the context, whatever the demand is. So the positive or the healthy work culture and how it is leading to or resulting into the employees' productivity, creativity and the sense of fulfillment. So before then that, you must know what are the different characteristics of a healthy work culture. So characteristics of healthy work culture. Democratic setup is there, equality of all, gender equality, well seated or well equipped work environment, moral values, professionalism, freedom to express. So these are some characteristics of the healthy work culture. Now we need to relate all these things to productivity, creativity and the sense of fulfillment of the employee. So first, when there is a positive work culture, it means the work culture that have characteristics of this thing. It helps in empowering the employees. How? The employee will feel empowered when he or she has the autonomy over their work, whatever the work allocations are there. If that particular person has say in it that, okay, I require this thing, I will work on this. If this autonomy will be there, then it is a positive work culture. And when people feels that they have autonomy to choose their work, then they feel more empowered. And also the different avenues to learn the new skills, to upgrade themselves. So this will be the opportunities to empower the employees. Next is communication and transparency. When there is a healthy communication and transparent communication in the organization happens, it means the voice sayings or the concerns of the employee are being heard at the senior level, at the colleague level. They feel more engaged, they feel more connected to their organization, and when this is there, it feels more empowered. They will produce the work, means the productivity would be high. It helps in boosting up the creativity of that particular person, that okay, I am the asset of this particular organization. They also are very concerned for me, so I have to give to this organization. Next is work environment and the facilities. When there is a positive work environment, like there is well equipped ventilation, ergonomic chairs, very good world class aesthetics would be there, so that improves the productivity as well as the well-being of the employees. Next is wellness programs. Like TCS, they organize the global exposure. They have the counselors to counter the stress and the depressions in their employees. So if there are the wellness programs, like there would be the gym membership, there are the sports activities, there are regular activities or the programs where the people feel connected to their organization and also for their personal well-being, then people will produce more, or it means their productivity will be more. Next is workload management. Then if it is a positive work culture, it means the workload is divided into such that the employees do not feel burnout. It means that the division of the work is according to the efficient or the optimal division of the work. It means the recruitment of the people are appropriate, means there are ample resources, not all the work is dedicated to the one person, and also the expectations are very real in nature. Next is career growth opportunities, like access to training, development and upskilling programs. Like there are companies which provide MBAs, executive MBAs from their own organization. They can upskill themselves. So these provides the career growth opportunities also. You can quote example that BCCI has started providing paternity leave. And also you can quote some example of Zomato that they have started giving the menstrual leaves for the women employees. You can quote example of Google that they have provided world-class aesthetics, world-class beauty interiors, so that the person well-being, productivity and the aesthetics, everything will be improved. Next comes the conclusion. You can conclude that the positive work culture not only benefits the employees but also the society and the organization at the large. Like when the positive work culture would be there, productivity is there. Productive is there means profits for the company. Productivity and also the well-being of the employees and also improved quality of the services at society level. And also you can write cause and the effect, that empowering employees, recognizing their contribution, supporting work-life balance. If this would happen, then employees feel valued and inspired and overall productivity would enhanced. So this way our second question is over. Let's see the model answer. Work culture definition. What are the how the positive work culture increases the productivity of the employees, some case study, and finally conclusion. Now move on to the third question. The connection between India and Maldives is characterized by interdependence linked with the priorities of peace and security for India. Explain. So the question is asking about India and Maldives relations. Means they are interdependent, linked with the priorities of especially for peace and security. So we need to explain this statement. So for interdependence, we can write about what are the engagements between India and Maldives, and also we can write about the significance of the Maldives for India. So in introduction, we can start with the recent context that about the election in Maldives. Pro-Chinese candidate has been elected as the president in Maldives. So it raises concerns for the India's security and also for the strategic requirements. So this way you can start the introduction according to the recent context, what's going on in the current affairs. Then comes the body, significance of the Maldives for India and generally also. The very first thing is geostrategic importance. This is Maldives. So it is the neighbor, maritime neighbor of India, and it is in the proximity to the west coast of India. So directly India has a trade relation, security relations and other strategic importance this Maldives hold for India. And also due to this proximity to the western coast, and if Maldives, because it has a potential that Maldives can allow any third country or the third nation naval presence over there in this particular region, it would have a security impact on the Indian continent or the Indian territory. So this is why it is very critical for India to have a good relations with the Maldives, so that there shouldn't be any negative consequences for that. That is why India's neighborhood first policy talks about Maldives and how to improve the relations with that. Next is the geopolitical relevance. Geopolitical relevance, Maldives maritime location is such that if Chinese, due to its Belt and Road Initiative, if the Chinese influence or presence will increase in this particular area, again this will have the negative consequences on Indian territory. Next is geo-economic contribution of Maldives or of this particular region, and what are the geo-economic impacts on that. India's west coast or the westward sea line of communication, due to or from this westward sea lines of communication, approximately 50% of the India's external trade and 80% of the energy needs like oil and gas. So this area has the transit or the pass through the sea lines of communication. Let's see in a more lucid manner. So due to this westward sea lines of communication, 50% of the India's external trade and 80% of the energy's imports happen. So securing this region into a safe is very imperative for India. Next is net security provider. Maldives location is such that it is between, or it is a checkpoint between the two choke points like Strait of Hormuz and the Strait of Malacca. So it can provide the maintenance or the regulations of the secured sea routes or the sea lines of communication. Also it can help in providing patrolling services or different communication services, etc. in this particular region. So this is why, due to all these implications, it is very much required that this area should remain secured and safe. This is very much imperative for India as well. Next comes the India-Maldives relation, and what are the different areas of engagement. The very first thing is diplomatic relations. India is the very first, amongst the very first countries to recognize Maldives after independence. The second is economic ties. India is the Maldives' third largest trade partner. Their bilateral trade is approximately $250 million US. Next is security and the defense cooperation. 70% of the Maldivian defense trading requirements India fulfills. There are certain joint exercises between these two countries. Next is development cooperation. India helps in granting the loans or the soft loans for the development of the infrastructure and the connectivity project. Like recently, India has given the grant for the Greater Malay Connectivity Project. It will act as a catalyst for the entire Maldivian economy. Then next comes the credit line agreement for the different infrastructural as well as the different developmental projects. Lastly is the India's lead role as a first respondent role. Like during the water crisis in the Maldives, India provided or India supplied the drinking water, and also India provides essential medicines during COVID-19 pandemic, and these were named as Operation Neer and Operation Sanjeevani. Next comes, as it is not explicitly asked about the challenges and opportunities, either you can link it with conclusion only, or you can separately make a demand or the making heading of this. Like what are the different tensions, what are the different challenges in these both countries' relation, that there are slight tensions with the political regime. Like recently pro-Chinese candidate has come up as a president, and increasing popular sensitivity against India. So what are the opportunities? So India should work for the more cooperation and development led or development oriented, like infrastructural development, various other financial development approach in accordance with the Gujarat Doctrine, so as to boost the cooperation and the bilateral relation between these two countries, and overall to safeguard the Arabian Sea as well as the overall Indian Ocean regime. So this was the body part. Either you can write it in conclusion as well, like we should be more pro towards the deepening of the security cooperation and the developmental oriented approach should be there. So this would be the summary, or you can write in the conclusion. Finally, let's see the model answer. First, the recent context, then significance, then areas of engagement, finally conclusion. So this was it for today. This is the ethics series for November. We are providing 12 case studies, and every day 3 questions, 2 questions from the ethics and 1 question from case study. This will be till November end, and you can write your questions on this portal, and you can get the videos and the PDF linked in the description box of the YouTube channel only. You can take maximum advantage of this free initiative of Vajiram and Ravi. Also, Vajiram and Ravi has started mains intensive test series to holistically and comprehensively complete your syllabus, comprehensively completing your mains preparation. It will have the multiple half-length sectional test and the multiple full-length tests, so as to make you mains prepared or mains ready. So do join this test series. You can inquire about this. So this is it for today. Thank you and have a nice day, and keep writing.